What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Kofi Kingston, aka 1/3 of the New Day. You're not gonna say it with me, sir? Yeah, come on, you better participate. Let's try it again. 1/3 of the New Day, and you are watching The Young and the Wrestlers. Ha 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 ha.
Welcome to The Young and the Wrestlers, the Pop Culture's WWE podcast, the show where we dive into the soap opera nature of the WWE, that storyline, characters we mark out hard, because it's fun. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Betson, alongside...
The Messiah, more like the Mass-Siah. Ugh. I'm Jem.
That was bad. I like it.
That was terrible.
This, as I said, this is our WWE in review, where we review Raw, SmackDown, predict pay-per-views, all the things that are happening in the world of WWE. And it comes at you every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast services, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join that wrestling conversation, you can by heading over to our social medias. That's Twitter, Discord, Instagram, Facebook. All those links are in the down below area. If you want to join us as the show happens, you can by heading over to twitch.tv/The Pop Cultures, where you can watch us record this show live. If you want to support us, you can. You can be sure to give us a 5-star rating on your podcast service of choice. If you're watching us on the YouTubes, give us a like, watch the video. That's probably a good one. And give us a subscribe, ring the bell, all that stuff. Also, tell your friends, tell your family about this wrestling pod. And of course, patreon.com/The Pop Cultures, because everyone has Patreon. Us too. We've had it for like 2 and a bit years now. It's pretty handy. And of course, our merchandise store, popculture.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other assorted shit with our logos on it. And that's right, Jem. You are back after a week away, where we had the beautiful Mr. Mullet come in and help us out. But it's just not quite the same now, is it?
I don't know. I can't compete with that kind of beauty.
That's true. You certainly can't compete in the beard. But that's fine.
I'm trying.
You're giving it a red hot go. But how you been, man? How you been?
I've been good, man. I've been good. Just kicking along, hanging out at home, doing the correct thing, wearing a mask.
Yeah, doing all the lockdown things. Yeah, no, I'm in the same boat. I've still been working, of course, so wearing all the masks, but I've been going out and about in the town, like going to work and all those things. I've been continuing doing our wrestling watch along with Craig and I, where we jump on Discord and we watch the shows together. Boy, are we in for some intense couple of weeks.
Ooh.
So we've got SmackDown on Saturday. We have Dynamite this weekend as well, but so that's Sunday. So yeah, because they did a Saturday show this week because of the basketball. So Saturday we have SmackDown. Sunday, we have both Dynamite and TakeOver, I think. Yes. Then SummerSlam on the Monday, Raw on the Tuesday, nothing on the... And then we're recording the show. Then we have Dynamite again, and then All Out is that weekend or the one after. I don't know. It's an intense 2 weeks is what I was looking at. If you like wrestling, which we do, then we're going to have a good couple weeks.
SummerSlam season's where it's at.
Yeah, man. Oh, we've got Payback. Payback's the week after. That's right, because you got SummerSlam and then Payback the week after. Then All Out.
It's ridiculous that they're back to back.
Do 3 pay-per-views, or 4 pay-per-views in 3 weeks.
Crazy.
Hot absolute damn. Jim.
Yeah.
Hot absolute damn. So how do you want to run this, Jem? You want to go through SmackDown and then Raw and then SummerSlam predictions, or do you want to throw our NXT Takeover predictions here at the start and then we'll head into the show?
I can throw the NXT in.
All right, beautiful. Well, as we said, NXT Takeover 30 is happening this weekend. Now, both Jem, both you and I are a little out of the loop on the NXTs right now, but we take enough in to know what's going on. So let's have a squiz. So one of the things that is happening, which has been this awesome bit of promo work, is Adam Cole versus Pat McAfee. Have you been following this?
No, I haven't. haven't. Tell me more.
So Adam Cole makes an appearance on Pat McAfee's show, which is awesome. He comes in, they start having heated words, and he's like, "Fuck you." Then that leaves, and then Pat McAfee comes and does an interview. Like, no, Triple H goes on there the next week, and whatever.
Yeah.
Then, in short, last week McAfee rocks up at Full Sail. Adam Cole's lying on the announce table. He fucking punts him in the face, knocks him clean.
Oof.
Yeah, this is going to be a dope match. Like, even just the build up to it has been absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Holy shit, that's gonna be intense. Who do you think's gonna take it?
Oh God, I don't know. See, that's a weird thing. Like, I would presume that Cole's going to take it. You know, like Pat McAfee being is he an Aussie? Yeah, he's an Aussie. You know, we've got two Aussies on the card, so that's pretty rad. I don't know.
It's tricky.
Because it's weird. Because like I said, I presume like it's essentially a gimmick match. Oh, of course, it's a gimmick match, right? But I mean, it's like the Tyson Fury Braun Strowman match. It's someone else coming in and doing. It's it's even to keep it even something super relatable here. Like when we went to MCW and Seb Costello took on had a match because it was just came in, right?
Yeah.
Oh, so let me think about it because he tweeted today about interviewing Ric Flair tomorrow. I'm like, oh, you bastard. But yeah, I don't know. I presume Adam Cole.
Yeah.
But I said I'm also pretty confident Adam Cole is going to do some moving and shaking. So I don't know.
Yeah, who knows?
Of course, we have the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I'd say Adam Cole just because Adam Cole.
It seems like the easiest option. We have the NXT Women's Championship match. It's Io Shirai, who is the current champion, versus Dakota Kai.
Oof, this is gonna be a match. This is another tricky one to pick, but I reckon Io Shirai is gonna retain.
I think so too. So Dakota Kai did have a number one contenders match against Rhea Ripley a couple of weeks ago. About 2 weeks ago, where Kai got the win after Dakota used her good old friend Mercedes Martinez as a distraction. Yes. So presumably, if Mercedes isn't involved, I do believe that Dakota will not come out as a winner. Like Io was dope. Io had a mad go at NXT in your house is what she won it over. I don't see her losing it anytime soon.
Nah, definitely not. Especially with obviously what's happened a couple of weeks ago. I have a feeling if Martinez does get involved, that Ripley will make herself involved in the picture.
Yeah, or if she gets back in, that would also be dope if she gets involved as well. Next up, the NXT North American Championship. So after NXT in your house, where Keith Lee left as double champ, he then had to forfeit one of them, and he put the North American Championship up. There was a tournament, and this is where it has ended. So Bronson Reed, Australia's own Bronson Reed, versus Damian Priest versus 3TB. Is that to be determined, I presume? In a ladder match. Should be dope.
Yeah. Oh, I would love
NXT ladder match is dope.
To see Bronson Reed, man.
Yeah.
I'm just excited because he's a big dude.
He's a unit.
He is. He's like, he weighs a metric shit ton. Like, it's gonna be sick to see it.
That'd be dope. Well, I said,
do it for the Aussies.
Yeah, NXT have every ladder match I've seen at NXT has always blown me away. Like I think of Io Shirai versus Mia Yim, which is more recently. I also think of like the Undisputed versus, I want to say, Street Profits or Viking Raiders, one of the two, and it was ripper. It was absolute ripper.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I without them knowing who the other to be determined are, it does make it a little bit difficult. But just for funsies, Bronson Reed, let's give it to him. NXT Championship, Keith Lee versus Karrion or ex-Killer Cross. He's scary. He's a scary looking dude.
This one's tricky. Yeah. Oh, because Killer Cross is still real good right now.
Yeah, so this match is not official, but it's looking to go that way.
Look, I reckon Keith Lee's killing it as a champion, so I think he's going to retain.
Yeah, Keith is he's over as hell. I don't see him losing it anytime soon.
Yeah. Do it, Keith.
still fucking couth. Yeah, I'm gonna say couth. And there is probably a cruiserweight title in there, or at least one other just regular match. And I guarantee the answer is they're all gonna be brilliant. I said in the I don't know, like 6, 7 NXTs that takeovers that I've seen, still yet to be disappointed. So
Good.
it's always a win. Anyway, the gem. Let's get into what we normally do. Let's look at the Raw, look at the SmackDown. We're gonna kick things off with SmackDown. Now, one thing, the gem that we haven't really been able to discuss because you had your week away is this Big E push.
Oh, I'm loving it.
So 2 weeks ago when you were here, we saw the groundwork where Kofi was like, "Nah, man, it's cool. You shoot, you go, you do it. Shoot for the stars. Get the opportunity that you didn't get."
I think it was even wasn't it the week prior to that?
I don't think so because he took on the Miz last week, and then John Morrison this week.
Yep.
So he took on old flippity doodah John Morrison.
Yes.
And he gets the win. That's every singles match he's had. Big E is coming out with the wins. The push is real.
But this match had to be continued later in the night.
It did.
Because what happened was the match started and it was going all good, but there was like heaps of video glitching, and obviously we saw the video recap of, I believe they're calling themselves Retribution.
Yes.
We saw the video recap of what they'd done last week, and the
that's another reveal that you missed from last week.
I did. So I got to see that recap, and they immediately somehow managed to break into the arena. They're already in there breaking shit, and they attack Big E and Morrison, and Miz comes out, and then they all end up backstage, and Big E's rallying the troops.
Oh yeah, they just destroy catering. They wreck that catering.
Yeah. Oh, later.
That's true.
But they so they wreck the arena first, beating up Big E and John Morrison, and then Miz and Morrison blame Big E for putting out a tweet taunting Retribution. Big E starts rallying the troops, and then King Corbin comes up and he's like, I get you're trying to be a leader and rally the troops, but I'm the king here, so I'm in charge. And Corbin goes on to say that Corbin goes on about something, and Big E just shuns him off, and then Sheamus comes up. And Sheamus is like, "Oh, look, Big E, we get it. You're alone. Your friends aren't here. You're all by yourself. You're vulnerable and you're afraid. And they're going to prey on that. That's why they attacked you. But I'm not afraid. They're not going to attack during my match. Just you watch." And Big E's just like, "I'm not alone, though." And then walks away, and everybody follows him past Sheamus. It's like, yeah, Big E. But the match does get started later on. Miz is ringside, and Otis comes out, and he has a little thing, and then Retribution, that's when they show up backstage and just wreck catering and all the referees and stuff like that. And because there was glitching and stuff like that, everybody'd come down to ringside because they thought it was all going to happen in the ring. Nobody knows what's going on backstage. And then one of the female referees comes out. She's like, guys, out the back. And everybody goes sprinting out the back. And everything's just, beat up. And Big E ends up getting the win on John Morrison. And then, as to be expected, as soon as I saw Sheamus approach him backstage, I knew we're getting Big E and Sheamus. Yep. And Sheamus comes out and just drops Big E with a massive broad kick, and I was like, knew it! Saw that coming. Honestly, I'm all for Big E versus Sheamus. Bring it on.
Beautiful. So we'll talk Retribution shortly. First, so I need to quickly while I reset my camera. Talk to me about Big E. I know you're obviously you're a mad New Day fan. You're a fan of the E. Mm-hmm. How are you feeling about this now? Now that we've seen a couple of wins under his belt, we know he's going to do well. We always knew he could do well.
Yeah, I am hyped for this, especially because it's for me, with Jeff Hardy getting the over on Sheamus, Sheamus is so over in the grand scheme of things. Sheamus has had the most phenomenal career, and to me it feels kayfabe up for a second. To me it feels like Sheamus is in that position where he's putting people over now.
He's in the same space like Cesaro, yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. Sheamus,
Like, he's safe, he's a good worker,
like
he can make it happen.
They're the bar. That's what they do. But yeah, and I love it because no matter how much Sheamus gets beaten, he's still this big, brooding, badass superstar that, like, nobody can mess with. So, like, I honestly believe that this is going to be, like, another sort of overcoming story. Like, Jeff overcame his demons with Sheamus. I think it's going to be another whole, like, Big E proves himself as a single competitor with Sheamus. And I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Give it to me 100%, because if anybody's going to put Big E up to that challenge, it is Sheamus. And I am hyped for it.
I agree. That would be meat on meat, and I think that'd be an excellent match. I'm looking forward to that very much so.
I want that dark meat on that white meat. Like, bring on.
Man, I'm very happy with what Big E did here. I think he delivered. There was this expectation hype around, him getting that solo go and seeing what he could do and the potential of what he could do. And thankfully, it's looking like we're going to see that. There's support all around, whether it be by other superstars, whether it be by, once again, kayfabe, the creative team. Like, there seems to be a lot to happen. And it's very fascinating that, what felt like 6 months ago, we hear, Corey Graves on After the Bell be like, Big E needs a solo push. And next thing, it's not next thing, but like a little bit later, the opportunity came, and it feels like someone said the right thing somewhere, and now it's happening.
Yeah, and it is working.
Yeah, I'm very excited. But what isn't entirely working for me, Jem, is that Retribution. How do you feel about Retribution?
I hate it. I hate it so much. It's just, I think because it's been so repetitive. Like, the last 3 weeks have just been that. And it's like, duh. Like, come up with something else. We get it. They're masked. They beat people up with weapons. They run away. Big deal. Like, I feel like there's going to be some big, crazy unmasking of, like, I don't know, NXT superstars or superstars from, like, 205 or whatever show they want to shut down or whatnot. I don't know. It's just it's really missing for me. It's not doing anything at all.
I think I discussed this last week with Craig, was that it's potential. It has potential. Like, the idea is cool. Cool-ish but it's not quite delivering in that way, I don't think. I say that because they're trying to be these badass, brutal dudes, but because they feel like teenagers that, like, want to wreck the school, but not quite. Like, it's vandalism, but it's very petty vandalism. I mean, like, apart from the burning of the Transformer last week, but it feels very minor.
It reminds me. Yeah, it reminds me of when WWE stormed ECW and, like, they're just handling it so wrong because, like, or like when DX invaded the WWE and they came in with tanks and shit, like, it feels like a real third-rate version of that, and it's just like, make it something, like, they need to make it something worth it. Like, they need to unmask these people and make them be, like, worthy people. Otherwise, it's just going to fall flat. Yeah,
whether that happens or not will be the big decider. I imagine that it probably won't, and that's cool, and that's perfectly fine. But yeah, it's not landing for me. One thing that my prediction is that, because we do know that the WWE are heading away from the Performance Center. They're making their way to the Amway Theater as of this weekend. I'm pretty confident that they, like, the Retribution would have left the Performance Center in such a disaster that they have to relocate. And there's your kayfabe story right there.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Let's move it on, because I said Retribution were there. They didn't really do a whole lot. We didn't get reveals. They were just there being shit menaces. So, nothing really sort of did a whole lot, which is a bummer. Let's see. You mentioned Sheamus before. Let's get to Sheamus. So he had a match here with Chad Gable. This is on the back of his match being cost last week at the hands of Chad Gable.
Yes, because Gable, I believe, attacked Riddle again. Yes. Yeah, Sheamus, like, before the match, he's like, don't worry, security, retribution aren't going to come on my watch. You guys go take a bevy, like, knock off. And, yeah, Sheamus wins with a massive brogue kick, to be expected for a short match. You know, it was what it was.
Yeah.
However, in saying that, we did see, keeping on theme with things, we did see Matt Riddle have an interview later in the night with.
Before we jump into that, Gem, our good friend Mad Dog is here in the chat, and he has filled us in. So for those that don't know, both Gem and I are part of Mad Dog's WWE 2K20 promotion, TCW. We are Team Pop C. There is you, myself, and Craig.
Yes.
So
Craig was redoing my character model recently.
He did. So Craig's done a rework on both you and I, because I made you and I a while ago. They're not very cool, but but yeah. So he's remade them, and we'll be sending them over to Mad Dog as well because they look more like us, which is better.
They do.
Which is fantastic. But he comes in the chat and goes, hey Team Pop C, I'm here to inform you that you two, that's both of us, will have the rematch from the TCW Vindication against the Andrews next episode on TCW with no countouts.
Hey.
So Gem, this is what went down.
Wait, are we on good terms again, or are we?
I don't know. See, this is the thing. So you and I had you had a scheduled match with Peyton. With Rosy Cheeks. You had a match with Rosy Cheeks.
Rosy Cheeks, okay.
But Peyton Royce comes running out, jacks Rosy Cheeks, and for some reason I'm there. Like, because obviously, the run-in triggered my character to come in. So here I am standing on the alley, on the walk-in, with Peyton Royce just punching this Rosy Cheeks. I'm like, what the fuck? Why am I here? So of course that obviously I've done dirty because I've essentially cost you your match. So then you and I had a mixed tag match a dark match against Peyton Royce and Mad Dog. Ripper match, by the way, absolutely amazing. You did great. I took a pin, but it was an absolute blast to watch.
My fault.
Yeah.
I could have broken that pin up, and I just walked away like, "Fuck you, man! You cost me my match."
But it was great. It was actually a really banger match. I really love the concept. I love that we're a part of it. So thank you to Mad Dog for letting us be a part of his Twitch community wrestling. Like, we are a new stable on there right now with you, myself, and Craig. It's very, very cool. I think
So
I'm excited to see where this goes because we can both be singles competitors. We can be mixed tag teams. Craig and I can be standard men's tags.
My wrestling fantasies.
It's awesome. The only thing is, Gem, like I've expressed what my finisher is. It's the Betson bomb, where it's essentially a jumping senton like Samoa Joe does. We haven't laid down what yours is yet.
Well, considering I work with, gems and diamonds and stuff like that, it's a no-brainer that mine should be a diamond cutter.
Oh, yeah, it should. Oh, shit. Mad Dog, if you're still around, which I hope you are, please update Gem's finisher to be the diamond cutter.
Diamond cutter. That's right.
Yeah. And we also need signature moves too, but I can't think of him. See, Craig has two finishes. He has business in the front, which is end of days, party at the back, which is inverted DDT.
Yeah, I love it.
So end of days. End of days. Business in the front where they smack their face into the mat. A party in the back is that inverted DDT where they whack their head against the mat. It's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant idea.
That is great. I need to
Mad Dog's, Mad Dog's on it. He's going to make it happen. What do you think his signatures as well? I don't know what his signatures are going to be. I haven't thought that far ahead yet.
Yeah, I'll have a think about it.
Because I gave him a blank slate. I was like, I don't know, this kind of looked like us. I made Gem use like Lucha Libre style because I thought it was funny. Here you go.
Lucha.
But yeah, so now that we've got like the better models that look more like us, which is great. We've got Craig. I think we're going to be a force to be dominated with TCW is all I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm willing to stand here and call out everybody in the TCW roster. Pop C, we ain't fucking around. We are
We're like
coming.
the OC, but better.
Yeah, that's
We're
right.
The Pop C.
Yeah, we're coming. You don't know what we are capable of. Because you know why? We don't even know what we are capable of. We're going to see where this happens. Women's Championship, it's ours. Men's Championship, it's ours. Tag team, it's coming. All I'm saying, because I'm not quite sure who, I can't remember who's currently the women's champ. I think it is Rosie Cheeks. Is it? I don't know. Whoever's got the women's championship, you better watch your back. Because fucking Gem is coming. Gem is coming. And she's got the mullet. The mullet is there. Mullet is the strong man of our stable. Y'all best watch out. Mad Dog says, look what happened to the firing squad and the future at the pay-per-view, so you guys could be on top. Pez McMahon is at... Oh, I was about to get to that, Mad Dog. Hey, Pez McMahon. Ooh. I know you're Rosie Cheeks is the women's champ. Pez, you're a good dude. We've never really exchanged too much. I barely know you. And if anything, that's going to make it even easier for me to come in and take your championship. If I knew you, like I know you're a nice guy. Like you're mates with Dash and you're mates with like the guys over at 8-Bit. Like I know you. I'm aware of you. I'm gonna fucking take your belt, son. It's mine. Yeah.
I'm gonna dispense him like the Pez he is.
That's right. Disposable, like Pez. You know what Pez's are? Pez's are old. That's old. That's retro. You know what's new? Betson.
Big Daddy Betson.
Big nasty Betson, because they wouldn't let me have Big Daddy. That's it. Like, look, I'm here. I'm getting trim. I'm ready to fucking go. Now is my time.
Yeah.
That's right.
In the words of John Cena, your time is up. His time is now.
That's right. Time is now. Mullet Show, you know what? You know what's easy to take from Pez? Candy. That's
candy.
Right.
It's like
we probably should get back. We probably should get back to the show, I suppose. After we cut some some bad promos. Actually, Jem, do you want to add some? You want to call out Rosie Cheeks? You want to give her a bit of shit?
Yeah, Rosie Cheeks. I'll give you a reason to have Rosie Cheeks. I'll slap the silly out of you for your cheeks of that Rosie. That's right.
Yeah, like you're gonna have two. You're gonna have two sets of Rosie Cheeks. The ones on your face and the ones you get from Jem kicking your ass.
Exactly.
That's right. Come to me. I'm gonna take all the belts. The mullet and chop play. You know what I love? Oh, because no one really listens to this show, we can do whatever we want, and this is fun.
I know.
We can completely shift away from like what the show is about to us cutting random Twitch promos.
Bring it.
Oh,
pulling you out, Rosie.
Osiris says, "Sick burn, long live that PG era." And Mad Dog says, "Better promos in the WWE." I wouldn't go that far because we're way better than them. We're fucking better than AEW, MJF. Who's that fuck? I got nah. It's us. It's us.
It's all us. I love it. Anyway, back to the show.
Back to the show.
To your regularly scheduled program.
Thanks, Mad Dog. I feel like all energized now. That was great.
I know. I love it. So Matt Riddle's getting interviewed by Kayla, and I thought this was very classy of him because he goes, "Listen, bro, is it okay if I call you bro?" Like, yeah, I guess. He's like, "Okay, bro." It's very nice of him to ask before continuing. But yeah, he's like, I came to SmackDown, to bro down, and throw down. I love that. And he's like, Shorty J comes up and is like, "Hey, man, I'm real sorry. That's not me. That's not what I'm about. But, I've got a family and money like that'll go a long way. And, like, you've got a family." And Riddle's like, no, it's okay, man. Like, I get it. Like, I got a family. I understand money goes a long way. But, like, let me ask you something, bro. And then King Corbin attacks from behind. So it's very clear that Shorty G had set him up. And
what a butthole.
Yeah, they played Riddle like fiddle. Yeah. that was the thing. I don't know where this is going.
This is 100% heading to Matt Riddle versus Baron Corbin. Again, and more.
Really yeah. And I don't really care.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is.
Like I wish I could. I wish I could have more. The more would be lovely.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, it's fallen flat for me, and I kind of don't really care.
That's all right. Let's take things up a notch, Jem, and let's talk about that Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville. So from a couple of weeks ago, Mandy gets brutally attacked at the hands of Sonya Deville, gets her hair cut, gets makeup, gets her boob nearly falls out, but thankfully in her beating, she manages to hold that shit in. It was a crazy fight. Mm-hmm. Mandy Rose is back, vicious hair trimmed, looking very nice, man.
Yeah, looking real cute,
looking real good. But that short hair, that lovely hair, Gem, may in fact be a thing of the past. Because come SummerSlam, we're laying our predictions down later, it is a hair versus hair match. Sonya Deville versus Mandy Rose. Obviously, we don't talk results yet, Gem. That's predictions time.
No.
But what do you think?
I'm hyped for it.
Yeah.
I'm hyped for it. I'm loving Mandy with the short hair. I loved her promo where she flat out was just like, everybody tells me I'm just a pretty face, but out of everybody, and she's like, I know, but out of everybody, you should know how hard I worked. I worked 3 jobs putting myself through college to get myself here, and this, that, and the other, and it was very heartfelt and very beautiful. And she calls Sonya out. She's like, you're not one to shy away from a selfie and stuff like that. So hair versus hair. And Sonya rebuttals. She's like, I'm surprised, Mandy. You're gonna look great bald and yada yada yada. And she accepts the challenge for SummerSlam. And it just made me think of when Vince McMahon and Donald Trump had a match. And
yeah, Cyrus in the chat. Hair versus hair. Lol. Trump and Vince did it better.
Exactly it. That's I'm excited to see it, but at the same time, it's kind of it's so cliche and girl.
I like it.
Have come up with
I think it's the right amount. I think it's the right amount of dumb, and that's what's completely sold me on it. It's just the idea of this is silly, but I'm into it because there is that. Because I guess they're relying on that thing that it's weird for women to have no hair. I think that's the whole gimmick of it mostly. But
I hate
I think they will both look fucking awesome if they had their haircut. They'd look fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm fucking keen. I'm keen as a whistle because it's one of those things.
Man, I'd love to see. You know what? I would love to see either of them rocking wigs like Lana does. Lana comes out with different hair every week, so she's rocking wigs, and I would love to see that.
Super down.
Come out with fucking bright pink afro. Love it.
Look, it's a weird throwback, to some older stuff. Because I think obviously the bit of lucha libre in there with the mask versus hair match sort of stuff. I'm in.
Yeah, mask versus mask. Yeah.
I
think it'll be a good match for sure. I'm bring it. Especially with me having long hair now, and I'm kind of thinking about cutting it, and I'm kind of feeling that whole hair versus hair thing.
Oh, a Gem versus hair match.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Mad Dog throws something in there. I'm gonna keep that, and we're gonna talk about that. I'm gonna add that at the back end of the show because that's gonna help with some predictions.
Yeah.
Let's get into one of the big things. Let's get one of the big staples of that because I'm having a look here, and we've kind of covered most of it. Let's go here. There was a triple brand battle royal for the opportunity at SummerSlam against Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship. There were lots of peeps in there. We had both the Iconics. We had Peyton Royce and Billie Kay. There was from NXT. We had Tegan Nox and Shotzi Blackheart. We also had Lacey Evans along with Asuka, Naomi, Nikki Cross, Ruby Riott, Liv Morgan, Dana Brooke, Bianca Belair, Tamina, and Shayna Baszler. There's a lot of names.
So the interesting thing about this is Sasha and Bayley going on about how the whole list of accolades and how they're we're going to add ring announcing to our repertoire. And they kick the ring announcer out, and they're like, when they're talking about it, like Sasha goes to read something, she's like, this has got to be wrong. This can't be right. What the hell's going on here? And then suddenly Asuka's music starts playing, and Asuka comes running down, and yeah, and I was like, get fucked. Like, could you imagine if Asuka wins both of these and she's going for both of the titles at SummerSlam? Could you imagine if she walks out with both of them?
Fucking spoilers, she is.
Like,
she totally won. We'll get into other people in just a minute. Asuka could have 2 belts come the end of SummerSlam.
I know. So this shocked me because I was expecting Baszler to get the win here.
Yeah.
I was really expecting Baszler to get the win, and then last minute Asuka just like get Baszler out, and I was like, oh damn!
Well, see, I didn't. Like, Baszler was not on my list because I know she's on Raw, and I think they'd want to keep her on Raw. I think, especially with like the Raw, likes of Raw Underground, which we'll get to a little bit later. That is the best place for her to be.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
I looking at that list, I'm like, I don't know.
I could see it as like, yeah. I
Like-
could see it as like a win and an exchange, like.
Yeah, but like, same as Belair, like having Belair there is cool, which like, all right. I thought maybe
she's
like
mad
Naomi. Like Naomi's probably the most likely option here. Because like the
that's
Iconics
true.
aren't getting in there. Tegan Nox and Shotzi, even though Nox had a awesome run, she was top like final 3. I don't see it, and unless they call her up, which I don't see happening.
Shotzi was pretty late there too.
Yeah, Shotzi had a good run as well. Lacey, no real chance. Nikki's had a run. Ruby and Liv, they're looking at some
they've got their
tag
thing,
stuff.
yeah.
They've got things on with Iconics right
they've
now.
got their thing.
Dana Brooke, sadly, would never get that shot, although I'd have loved that.
Oh man, did you see how Dana Brooke did that flip straight into the Carafina clutch? That was beautiful.
Yeah.
That was so good. There was some really good spots in that match too. Like, it's definitely one to watch because there was some cool shit. Like, the way Bianca Belair eliminated, I can't remember who she eliminated, but she
Tamina?
eliminated somebody. I think so. Yeah, she picked up Tamina and threw Tamina out.
She's a unit. And like, was it Nikki Cross that started like attacking Tamina, and Tamina just no-sold the shit out of it?
Oh, yeah. And I love that, like, Dana Brooke pulled the sneaky and, like, because she slid out of the ring and Nikki Cross, like, beat her. Like, she stayed out of the match until last minute. Like, smart move, but she got, kicked out immediately. But it was really freaking cool. But, yeah, like, Sasha and, like, Asuka's facing both Sasha and Bayley at SummerSlam. And she even went as far as to attack them backstage afterwards as well. Which was, like, badass.
I love
was
it.
So cool.
I love it.
I
we're gonna
love
wait
seeing
for our
Asuka
big thoughts
everywhere.
on that once we get into the predictions at the back end of the show. But
Oh, hell yeah.
yeah, I'm excited. Like it's a weird space, right? Like there's look how many other women we saw in this match alone, and then the same woman is getting shots at both. Like Asuka deserves it, and it's and I like where they're going.
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot of other people that could have had a good hot go too.
Yeah, but no, I see some big things coming. Yeah. Like, we'll speak about it in Raw, and then obviously with our predictions as well. But sort of SmackDown and Raw tie into each other this week, which is super exciting.
So
they're not their own dedicated
with
thing.
Bruce Pritchard heading up the creative, like the two shows feel separate. But they're also weirdly connected because they're written by the same person.
Really
Plus, Sasha and Bayley kind of working in between both shows, that is creating some sort of connectivity, which is nice. It's fine.
Exactly.
All right, cool. SmackDown Tag Team Championship champion Shinsuke and Cesaro had a match against Lucha House Party. Kalisto rocked up, did some things. Nothing really major happened.
Yeah. I did have a bit of a laugh at them stealing the titles though. Like they did that sneaky like Shinsuke and
the little comedy like.
Yeah, just a little creep in, and then they're like, yoink, and run out. I thought that was a bit fun. And yeah, obviously, not so grand return of Kalisto.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, no, it was something.
AJ Styles, we haven't seen him in a little bit. He's back. He's still Intercontinental Champion, which is awesome. He comes out with a guy that looks like Penn Jillette and Paul Heyman combined. It was very uncomfortable for me.
Yeah.
He was complaining about people throwing him statistics on his Twitch channel. Shout out to him pimping his Twitch channel, might I add. Claims that he's a stud nerd because he likes stats, and he pulls up his phenomenal intercontinental statistic system, or the PISS system.
Look, I'll give him credit. That's fucking hilarious.
What-
As soon as he said it, he's like, it's a working name. It's a working title. It's a
What I
working
love,
title.
yeah, because he's like, you know, the phenomenal, it's a statistic system, or PIS. Like, the fact that he just turns back and looks at the guy, I'm like, he's like, but I gave a
working
chuckle
title,
for
it's a
me,
working
personally.
it was
In short, he had a... Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, this led into something that I loved, which you're about to talk about now.
Yeah, so he had a whiteboard where it was covered by a series of paper, of black paper. Like these are the list of the potential people that should have the opportunity at the IC title.
Yeah, the statistics of who's, yeah. And then
First on the
that's
list, AJ Styles. Understandably, AJ Styles
course.
number one. Who should have the championship? AJ Styles. I get that.
Yeah.
Pulls off the bottom, just fucking no one else.
Yeah,
Not a single
AJ
person.
Styles. He's like, nobody's earned this, nobody deserves this, and then Jeff Hardy comes out. Now, Jeff Hardy is a 4-time Intercontinental Champion, and Jeff Hardy does come out and say that this was the first title that he won on his own many moons ago. So he has a really big connection to this belt. When Jeff come out, immediately I was like, Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles, give me that. That is going to be one hell of a match. And AJ Styles goes on to, like, give Jeff Hardy a big head. Like, you know, you're one of the greatest wrestlers and you're in the greatest tag team of all time and this, that, and the other, but you don't deserve... He's like, you think I'm going to accept your challenge? Oh, hell no! It's like, you haven't earned shit from me. You don't deserve this. And Jeff Hardy just beats the piss out of him.
Yeah, it was
and
awesome.
writes his name on that blackboard in big fucking letters and then leaves. And then they're like, you know, AJ's storming backstage with his Penn Gillette, Paul Gillette. We'll call him Paul Gillette.
Yeah.
He's like storming backstage and
Penn
like
Heyman,
holding the whiteboard. And Kayla comes up and she's like, you know, are you reconsidering the challenge? And he's like, yeah, you know, but you got to understand something. Like, people that do that to me are going to be erased. And he tries to wipe it out, and it's written in permo. And he's like, permanent marker, and he just like storms off, and he's like, let's go. It was so
There were some really well-timed comedy bits here. Like, they're very little,
Oh, AJ's so good at it.
but I chuckled really hard.
Yeah, so did I. It was that comedic break. It was that silliness that we needed. It was great. It was just...
And like,
so
shout out to AJ. He sold that shit so hard. Like, he was just like,
so
bam.
hard.
What, you know, like just the piss, the permanent ink, just the confidence. Like, he sold it, and that's what really brought it home for me. And
I love
yeah,
that he even grabbed his vest and he's like...
damn it.
Everything was just so perfectly timed.
Yeah, I really loved it. So,
So beautiful.
AJ Styles versus Jeff Hardy is something you want to see.
Yeah, 100%. I reckon that would be a killer match.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'd love to see that personally. I think it'd be
Yeah.
great.
I would love to see Jeff with the title one more time before he leaves.
Well,
That would be a real, like, accomplishment of his demons.
yeah, after allegedly him being in a shot for the big belt, the big old title,
Yeah.
before WrestleMania, this, I, from what you've said in terms of his history, I think there's probably a better title for him to have, especially when they're looking at a different direction for the Universal Championship now that the original plans with Roman sort of fell through, and also the whole pandemic thing's a bit of a problem. But yeah, no, I'm excited for that. Should be sweet. All right, let's get into the last moments here, Jam. Alexa Bliss,
so-
Braun Strowman.
Yep, Nikki Cross, yeah. So we see Alexa Bliss backstage. Nikki Cross grabs her and she's like, oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. Like, I'm so worried about you. We should get you somewhere safe. We need to get you out of here. And Alexa's like, no, I need answers from Braun. And they have a little impromptu interview with her where she's talking about their friendship and when they were little big and all that sort of stuff. And she's like, you know, they put out the question of romance. And Alexa just straight up says, yeah, I think there could have been something there.
Oh,
It was a bit cute.
yeah, I'd watch.
I was
I'd
not
watch that.
expecting that.
I'd watch him smooch.
Yeah, and you know, they're like, you know, how do you feel about Braun saying last week that he doesn't give a damn about you, and she just sort of turns away and the interview ends. So that obviously leads us into Braun Strowman coming down to the ring later at the end of the night. And he's like, you know, I told you when I came out of that swamp, I'd be the most vicious son of a bitch you'll ever meet, and I'm the monster among men, and, you know, basically calling out the Fiend. He's like, you know, the Fiend, I want you here now. And Alexa comes out and Braun just won't look at her. Will not look at her. Every time she speaks, she's like, you know, at one point she's like, you know, if I can't talk some sense into you, I'm going to have to slap some sense into you. And then she's like, look at me while I'm talking to you, God damn it. And she screamed at him. She was so passionate about it. And, yeah, he turns around and she just slaps the shit out of him. She's like, wake up, this isn't you. And she's like jumping to belt him in the face.
So now bend down, now squat so I can hit you.
Yeah, exactly it. You know what? No, I'll have to tell you off air. There's something funny it reminded me of. But yeah, Braun just like picks her up. And he runs over to one side of the ring.
He's got her gorilla. He's got a gorilla pressed above his head, and he's just holding her. Might as well just do the things if he wanted.
Just a big old toss over the rope. Yep. But like he gets to one side, and then the venue starts to shut down, and he knows what's happening. So he goes to the other side of the ring, and it happens again. And he does it a couple of times until when he finally throws Alexa, everything just shuts down, and then it comes back to red, and Alexa's on the ground writhing in pain, and the Fiend is there. And Braun Strowman is nowhere. Mind you, Braun Strowman is bald now.
Yeah, good call. He was balding pretty hard, so it was a good call.
Yeah. So yeah, he comes back, and then you see the screen comes on, and he starts laughing, and the Fiend starts doing this, and like, you know, he's laughing, and the Fiend's laughing, and Alexa's writhing in pain, and it was just this whole thing, and I was like, give me. Because I obviously missed last week, and last week the Fiend popped up again at Alexa, and when he went to do the mandible claw, Alexa actually pushed his hand away, and she just touched his hand.
Shout out to consent.
Yeah, and she even said being in his presence is terrifying,
like a moth to a flame.
Compelling. Yep, and she understands what a moth to a flame is now, and that was really cool. And the more this is leading into this match, the more hyped I am about it.
So what I love about this is this shows the Fiend. He shows he has compassion.
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's awesome. Like, because we
and it also shows that Braun can get to him.
Yeah, because it's interesting thing. It's because originally I've seen some comments about confusion about why is Alexa doing this if Braun says it means nothing. Because it's a work. 100% it's a work. Like, Braun totally gives a shit because duh. Yeah. But
he's just trying to play mind games.
He's playing cool. Yeah, he's trying to play cool.
Game. Because he's been there. He knows what the other side of the Fiend is, so he can get in its head.
Yeah, so the idea was like, hey, I've got Alexa. He's like, I don't fucking care. He's like, oh, well, but I have her. It's like, don't care, dude. And it has put the Fiend at a back foot, which I like, especially heading into their title match at SummerSlam.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I like it because once again it showed a minor bit of humanity. And we saw a little bit of that last week. We saw a little bit more of it here because he essentially rushed out to Alexa's aid. He didn't rush out to get Braun. He rushed out to her aid.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty gnarly.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, especially after last week, it's like Alexa's gotten to the Fiend as well.
Yeah, it's an interesting.
Sister Abigail.
Maybe she may once again because as Braun said, whoever comes in contact with the Fiend is changed, and that includes Alexa. So maybe this is part of it. Maybe Alexa, like the little dropper, has gone in Alexa's ear hole, and maybe she's like, maybe I am Sister Abigail. Maybe I've been as her this whole time. No, probably not.
Maybe.
But
it can go anywhere, and I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm very excited because we have one more SmackDown before SummerSlam, so things could get a little bit more spicy before then. But sadly, we record our show SmackDown Raw, then we record our show. So there's no way we're going to get to it before SummerSlam.
Exactly.
Jam, what did you think of this episode of SmackDown?
I honestly really enjoyed it. There was very little that was a total downer for me, apart from that the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. I would easily say in the lean up, I'm going to be real generous with this, and I'm going to go 2 Kurtz.
2 Kurtz.
I really
Wow,
enjoyed it.
bold.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've given something like that, but it was only one thing that really was like, meh. The rest of it was pretty on point.
Well done. All right, well, I'm going to Curtain Bar, personally. I thought overall I really enjoyed it. It was fun. The hair versus hair gets me weirdly excited. Braun, I like what they're going with Braun. It makes me think I need to get like a new action figure because this one has hair. Obviously I'm a big Braun mark. I've got rocking, not right now, but I got a bunch of his shit. So I'm excited to see where this goes, and I'm a mad Alexa fan too. So it's ticking all the boxes for me.
Yeah,
I like to see where this goes.
Ties with like Jeff Hardy and AJ Styles, I'm loving.
Yeah, AJ Styles is dope. AJ versus Jeff, I want to see. I like the idea of a cross-brand battle royal because I like bringing in people from the other brands.
So fun.
Shotzi's awesome. Tegan Knox is dope. It's very it's cool to see them have a red hot go, especially because we see them like fuck assing around in the crowd. So it's cool to have them in the ring.
Yeah, exactly it. Yeah, exactly right.
All right, Jem. Let's make our way over to Raw. Let's kick things off with the big thing. Like, that's not bury the lead here, Jem.
No.
Granddaddy Orton.
Go for gold.
Last week,
Do it.
punched Ric Flair in the dick, kicked his fucking face in.
71-year-old man. How low can you go?
About dick level, mostly. Just big.
Yeah,
Hadouken.
apparently. Just, down on your knees, straight in the junk. Horrible.
Got them
Absolutely
old
horrible.
man balls. He didn't really have to swing that hard. He could have
Yeah.
swung at his knee and would have probably whacked him.
Yeah. So obviously Drew McIntyre comes out pissed. Absolutely pissed because like you don't do that to somebody who's like
Don't punch old men.
I saw the recap. Yeah, somebody who just spilled their guts to you talking about spending those 31 days on their deathbed and wanting to tell the people that they love them. And then Randy has the nerve to do that. Like, Drew McIntyre is just like, what he did last week is unforgivable and Randy is pure evil. And I can't agree more. That's so low. Like, I cried listening to Ric Flair. Ric Flair's tearing up, I'm tearing up, Randy's tearing up, and then that happens? Like, come on now. And, like, Drew McIntyre's like, I'm not a 71-year-old fragile man. I am a 6'5" pissed off Scottish fire breathing dragon. I was like, hey, retribution. Oh, seeking retribution. And I was like, hey, retribution. He called him out. And then, I was like, I knew it because he said retribution and then they started smashing shit up. Go on.
In the chat.
You okay?
Mad Dog just put, he's like, how low can you go? And he's like, low in the Aussie dollar. And Craig goes, ooh. And Craig comments with, ooh, that's low. Reading that, I know how Craig said it, which makes me even happier.
Oh, I love those guys. But he's like, Drew McIntyre's like, I'm seeking retribution for everyone you've wronged. I was like, hey, and then the cameras start fucking up, and then retribution are smashing the camera truck up while, Drew's still blabbing.
Yeah, because it kicked off with all the intro being
like
upside down and flippity doodas, and I said watching with Craig here, and I thought we were having strokes at the same time, which was really nice. It's just
you're not alone.
like, oh my god, we're doing this in sync, but no, it turned out the retribution were being really amateurly destructive.
Yeah, and then they, just screaming, turn it off, and they turn everything off. And then we come backstage, and Drew McIntyre's like, look, guys, I'm not sure we're going to make it to SummerSlam at this rate with what Retribution are doing. And he plays the leader role, rallies the troops type thing. And Seth Rollins is like, we have a messiah. I'm a leader for the greater good. And, and Drew's like, you've been trying to gain the respect of these people for 5 years and they still don't.
Yeah, that was a sick burn.
That was a sick burn. That was so good. And he's like, I love this because Ricochet and Alexander were being shitheads in the background. And obviously, they're talking about what's going on at SummerSlam. So Drew's talking about Randy Orton, and then Seth starts talking about teaching Dominic respect and stuff like that. And Ricochet is like, I taught Dominic what it's like to be a WWE superstar. And Ricochet's like, and I heard you getting a receipt for that too. Everybody's like, ah! It was so good. And he's like, what do you mean? And they're like, a little birdie told us that Rey Mysterio is going to be here. And Seth starts freaking out. And yeah,
Your cameras fell a little bit, Jem. There you go.
Sorry. But yeah, that was that little thing, which was a bit of fun. I just love that. I heard you getting a receipt for that too. Beautiful.
But transitioning to the back end of the show, because we hear that Shawn Michaels, he's just a sexy boy.
He is there, and everybody's obviously losing their mind over him. And yeah, he obviously does see Drew McIntyre at the end of the show, and he talks about, you know, what happened. And he's like, I know, like, I need to talk to Randy, and I need you to do me a favor and give me space. And obviously, like, Drew and Shawn are talking about how Shawn's always believed in Drew, and, you know, like, Drew talks about how, like, it ended up getting real heartfelt again, and I was getting real teary. I was like, oh, guys, stop. Yeah. But Drew's like, you know, I feel like I've let you guys down by letting Randy run rampant like this. And Shawn's like, you haven't let anybody down, man. You are doing the best thing so far. So just keep it up. But, like, please, just give me space.
Fuck it, in short, he gets in the ring, gets punted in the face.
Yeah, exactly it.
Pretty straightforward.
Like,
We don't, why fluff around it?
does
He
give
gets
a little
booted in the
spoiler.
face.
But he gives a little spoiler in saying, he's like, you know, I'm not sure what's going to happen at SummerSlam. I'm not sure which way what's going to go, you know, but I can guarantee that you will meet your justice either at the end of a Sweet Chin music or at the end of a Claymore kick. And I was like, oh, Shawn's going to be there! So I was real interested about that. But yeah, then Randy Orton comes in with an RKO and a punt, and then Drew comes flying out and beating the shit out of Randy. And then when he goes back to 10 Shawn Michaels, Randy just pops in with that random RKO and
Decks him.
takes him out.
Also, hey, Draws, how you doing? Thanks for joining the show. But, and it's, yeah, all I hope is that this punt to Shawn Michaels' face, like, fixes his bung eye a little bit. Like, because...
Yeah.
Like, when he's, like, trying to do that promo and it's, like, one's kind of moving by itself, I'm like, all right, dude, I know what's coming.
me of Don Vito.
You're getting punted.
He's looking at you or the Coke machine.
Yeah, like, like, I know it. My mum knows it. My kid knows it. You're
But he
getting
said,
punted.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah, I saw it coming. Like, but like when he said you'll meet your justice at the end of a Sweet Chin music or a Claymore kick, I was like, buddy, you can't even do like the proper bend down to do your
Yeah,
intros
you're all like,
anymore. How
your
you
knees
doing
are all
things?
jacked. But
Yeah,
Craig also
you're
adds,
bowlegging and
but
stuff.
he's just a sexy boy.
But he is just a
Yeah, he's not your boy
he's
toy.
not your boy toy though. No, he's not your boy toy. But this made me hyped for this because I'm excited. I have a funny feeling we're gonna see a bunch of legends join Drew McIntyre. Whether it's like a lumberjack match where they're all lined around the ring or whatever it may be. I'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I want to hear about that. That sounds dope. Well, I love it because it's getting furious, it's getting personal, it's getting angry. Like, I'm excited to see
Ooh,
where
yeah,
this
it
goes. Because, like,
It's getting emotional too.
yeah, because, like,
I've
Randaddy's
cried.
just being a prick to everyone. I love it.
Yeah.
Just punting old
Prick,
dude, like,
prick.
literally just wrecking old people.
Yeah.
I kind of don't. I understand Drew's like, hey, don't punch old people, but it's just like he's coming in like the teacher being like, oi, don't you fucking hurt that. I'm not feeling it. I oddly don't feel Drew's side. Randy though, I'm like, you're still a piece of shit because you're punching old dudes, but I don't know. I like Drew. I think
You're
Drew's
doing it
great.
right.
But like,
Yeah,
come
but
on,
you're
man.
punching old dudes properly.
Yeah, what the fuck? No, I'm pretty excited.
Speaking of old dudes,
Yeah.
I have a segue.
Oh, transition.
Speaking of old dudes, yeah, we had a match with Natalia versus Mickey James.
Yeah, speaking of old
I was
dudes.
not expecting.
Wait, what?
Speaking of old dudes, yeah. So we haven't seen Mickey James.
I haven't seen Natalia in a while.
Yeah, exactly it. And Natalia's suddenly besties with Lana.
I love that, by the way.
Ringside.
There's a whole energy between them
Yeah.
right now, and it's awesome.
Yeah, I did love the whole like Lana was filming while Natalia was beating Mickey James up. It was
TikToks,
pretty
yeah.
mad. One thing like I did love about this most though, like it was a fun little match. Don't get me wrong, it was fun to see them going. It's awesome to see Mickey James. That brings back a lot of memories. But Seth Rollins comes out because Joe has
Yeah, what
said
the
at some
fuck?
point that he Yeah, well, Joe said at some point that he knows some things about some things, and Seth is like, "How do you know?" And Joe's like, "I'm not telling nothing. Like, I just know these things." And you know, Natalya ends up getting the win while this whole thing is going on, this exchange between Joe and Seth, and then you know, Lana's taunting Mickie James, and she gets beat up, and then you know. Seth is like, you know, if Rey Mysterio has the nerve to show up tonight, like I can guarantee that him and Dominic aren't making it to SummerSlam, and you know, puts out this big old threat, and Joe's just sort of like nodding and smiling with this really nice looking plait that's going on there. But yeah, this isn't the first piece of news that Joe had for the evening.
No, not even a little bit. So before we jump into that though, like,
Joe is in the know.
Yeah, were you happy to see Natalya and Mickie James?
I was. It was nice to see some more faces that we haven't seen around a little bit. It's nice to see Lana back in the picture doing something that's not screaming like an asshole at Bobby Lashley.
I like how they're not even addressing the fact that they're married. Like they were like,
I know.
"Oh, there's troubles in their marriage," and they just fucked it off. Like nothing happened.
Yeah, and social media, Lana's gone back to posting about Miro. So, anyway,
Fuck it.
Love triangles.
Yeah.
That's why it's called the Young and the Restless.
Open marriages now, I guess. Yeah. Young and everyone's just banging everyone. Sweet.
Yeah, exactly it. Yeah, Natalya and Mickie James probably banging.
Wouldn't even be mad.
Nah.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah, so yeah, it was fun to see them back, but I'm more interested about Joe in the know. Like, how does Joe know all this
He
shit?
knows
Apparently
things.
a lot
He's
of
seen
people like-
things.
Yeah, he says there's a lot of people that actually like him, so they share things with him.
Can
So,
confirm.
Surprised
Do
to
like him.
hear. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, like I guess we should get into what else Joe knows.
Do it. Jim, bring it in.
Which is, you know,
That's right. I'll set up I'll set it up. You bring it home.
Get it up.
So last week or the week before, I think it was the week before, but 2 weeks ago,
2 weeks ago.
there was a situation where Zelina's boys versus Street Profits. Montez is like, my drink tastes weird, like a champion. Proceeds to drink it all anyway. Has a match, faints midway through. Turns out, fucking poisoned. Poisoned. And of course, the eyes went straight onto Zelina and her boys. We spent the last couple of weeks just like, trying to get it out of them, really.
Yeah, Bianca Belair, like straight up was like, it was you, and like the big old fight ensued when they were talking backstage. So obviously there's a whole thing with like, you know, the whole like romantic lover thing with Angel Garza. He's backstage with that Demi girl, and she ends up getting swooned over.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the woman from The Bachelor. I don't know why they keep having her around.
I think it's funny. But yeah, so I believe Ivar gives the little ham leg. It is like, and this one isn't poisoned. And Demi's like, did you really poison him? He's like, I didn't poison anyone. And you know, real defensive. And then Ivar and Garza have a match, which I believe Garza wins. And yeah, somehow, because Angelo Dawkins is on the screen, like he ends up introducing himself to Demi, and they have a chat, and Dawkins is like, oh, you know, he's rolling with these hints. He's just throwing out these hints, like show the video type thing, and he keeps going like this, like show the video, and then like Zelina and her crew like lock in on Samoa Joe, and they're like, oh, you know, is it what I think he is? And Angel Garza goes running out the back because it's like shit, and like goes sprinting off. Like it sounds like there's some sort of like sex tape or something.
Oh, that's what I was hoping.
Like,
I'm like, oh shit!
Yeah,
and next thing it
that's
cuts
it.
to
I was
like, you know, Angel Garza's going to town on Zelina. I'm like, what the
and
fuck?
that's what I thought was gonna happen too.
And then Andrade's
Zelina's
gonna
like,
get
what are
all
you
hurt.
talking about?
Then Demi's gonna get all hurt. Then Aleister Black comes in. Then Andrade gets hurt. You know, sorry. Then Angel gets hurt. It'll be awesome.
Young and the Restless. Yeah, but Zelina's all like, what do you know? What do you know? And Joe's like, oh, you don't know? Oh, you don't know? He's like, I know some people who showed me some things, and I thought those things would be interesting for Angelo Dawkins to see. So I asked Dawkins, and you know, Dawkins is backstage asking for Demi's number. He's like, oh, no, I was just going to send her this video. And, like, they're trying to get the phone off him. And, like, you know, everybody ends up backstage trying to get the phone. And then the video plays. And it is Zelina Vega that week, 2 weeks prior, clearly putting something in Mod's.
Effing with his drink.
clearly. And she's like, you know, she's like, what does that video show? It just shows that I got a really nice jacket. It doesn't actually show anything. You can't prove it. And, you know, Montez Ford, like, Angelo Dawkins is like, you know, whatever, me and my brother, we just want the smoke. And then the big old Dawson happens out the back. And yeah, it turns out that Zelina Vega did actually poison Montez Ford.
Knew it!
Yeah. And I'm kind of disappointed it wasn't a sex tape, but yeah.
Well, like this.
But no, this is.
I'm a little disappointed. I say that in like the first, like they did it, and like no, they didn't do it. I'm like, okay, benefit of the doubt. Maybe you didn't do it. Let's see what happens. Like, what if it is somebody else? And like, no, we did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, we did it.
So
it's
this
fine.
obviously leads, this leads into a match later in the night where Andrade is versing Montez Ford, which I'm really getting sick of seeing this pair up, but whatever.
It'll be Dunskies after this,
yeah. I do need to mention that Angelo Dawkins was vouching for his boy Ivar with Demi as opposed to which was a bit
He's the cute one.
But yeah, obviously, like, during this match, Vega gets on the apron and tries to interrupt, and she just gets, Bianca Belair comes out, and Zelina tries to crossbody her and just gets caught and slammed into the ground, and it was just beaut. And I am kind of hoping, as weird as it sounds, I'm really hoping that something happens between Zelina and Belair. And I'm hoping it happens intertwined in this match, whether they're involved in the match as well or whatever it may be. I don't know, but I want to see that happen.
See, this is the thing. If you go back early in our show, early in the run, I'm pretty sure I was like, I don't get Bianca Belair. I don't feeling it. I'm not a fan. I'm a fan. I've been turned around completely. I think she's absolutely amazing. She has an energy that I love. You know, she's like got the strength, she's got the muscle, and she's just like kicking asses everywhere. I think Belair's great, man. And like I said, I really like her. I love this sort of like stable unstable thing with her and like the Street Profits. I think that's a great little dynamic. There's not quite enough of that going on.
Exactly.
Yeah, like I'm disappointed that once again we see Andrade take an L here. As I said, for me, I want him to be WWE champion. I think Andrade should be WWE champion. However, with the string of losses that he's been facing, I don't see it happening.
Statistically,
and it bums me out.
If you look at the piss.
Yeah. if you look at the piss, he ain't getting it.
Yeah, exactly it. Oh God. Anyway, I've been talking so much.
No, we haven't had you in a week, Gemma. I just want to hear your voice. All I do is talk.
Where should we go with next? Where do we go? Maybe we should get...
Let's see. Let's get a bit of the MVP in the Hurt Business. Let's get it out of the way.
Yeah.
So MVP comes out, you know, and his intro doesn't work properly because, you know, things being jacked up by Retribution. He comes out, calls out Retribution, funny enough, and then also says that they are on the money roll, like they're on the money. They're getting paid by Apollo Crews to intentionally.
Like some convoluted story about getting catering, and then Apollo Crews is involved. And,
so in short, MVP thinks that Apollo Crews is funding Retribution.
He thinks he is
just for the United States Championship.
Yeah, clearly just making excuses because he took a big old L. And Apollo says the same thing. He's like, you know, you're just making excuses, bro. And it's like, all right, here, how about this, MVP? Let's make it so you can't make any excuses. If I beat Shelton Benjamin tonight, then the Hurt Business will have to be backstage when you and I fight.
Backstage?
Backstage.
Nah.
Shut up. Backstage, same. It's all the same shit. But yeah, so Apollo and Benjamin have a match, and then R-Truth is obviously 24/7 champion, so he interrupts because, you know, he does. And Akira Tozawa is there with his ninjas as well, who get beat up, and Cruz ends up getting the win, which is awesome, which means the Hurt Business has to be backstage during the match, so MVP will have no excuses when he loses. Obviously immediately after he wins the match, the Hurt Business just attack, which brings out Ricochet, Alexander, and Ali. And then R-Truth just pops out again, and Benjamin manages to boot him out and take the title. And MVP pissed off about Ricochet and Alexander and Ali and that coming out. Challenges them to a 6-man tag match. The Hurt Business versus Apollo Crews and 2 partners of his choosing. And obviously there was a bit of scuffle earlier in the night where, before where Cedric Alexander got caught in they're calling it the Full Lashley now. And
That's so dumb.
I know. Apollo Crews, he gives Alexander the night off. He's like, mate, you're hurt. I know how that thing feels. Just take the night off. Me, Ricochet, and Ali have this.
All right, before we jump in, I just want to mention one thing. So, friend of the show, Noob & Co. in the chat. Now, Noob & Co. He's been around these parts for a while. Absolute gentleman. Every Friday, follow Friday, he always tweets, chucks us in there, always putting us out.
You're so sweet.
He's putting us over. Thank you, Noob. I just want to say thank you because you're here, and I want to make sure you hear it. Thank you so much, dude. It's really appreciated.
Noob and Co. Check them out. But yeah, so before this match happens, MVP comes and sits down with Cedric Alexander and clearly stirs the pot. Like, are they really looking out for your best interests? Or do they think that you're the weak link? And rada. And Cedric looks real, like he's visibly rattled by this at the end. He sort of throws his water bottle and is a bit pissed off. Match time comes around, and it's a 6-man elimination tag match. So what was it? Ali gets eliminated by Lashley first, then Ricochet gets eliminated by Shelton Benjamin. So it's Apollo Crews versus the 3 of them. Apollo Crews then proceeds to take out Benjamin. Alexander comes out and wins the 24/7 title off of him and runs off like, how's that, Hurt Business? And then Crews ends up eliminating MVP. Crews gets eliminated by MVP, and then Crews eliminates MVP, and then before he can even recoup, Lashley just attacks and gets the win.
Yeah.
Then that led into, let's just get it out of the way, there was a 24/7 championship match. Obviously, Cedric Alexander being the new champion, he was facing Akira Tozawa.
So not anywhere rules while they have this one-off match against Tozawa for some reason.
Exactly it, but then obviously Shelton Benjamin comes out and wins the title back off Alexander pretty immediately.
All right, so before we jump into this United States Hurt Business garbage, are you on the same page as me that 24/7 has lost its oomph?
It really has. It's really just, it's not landing anymore.
Because how do they get rid of it at this stage? Because I don't see it lasting. I don't know. I don't know what it is. There's nothing about it that makes me go, ooh, I need to know what the 24/7 champ. But even the only thing making it work was Truth and Carmella.
And now they're separated.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen Carmella in a while. I reckon the only way it's going to be able to get rid of it is if Retribution start a bonfire and drop the belt.
But no one's gonna. No, the only person gonna be mad is our Truth. Everyone's like, oh no.
Truth's gonna be like, my baby.
My baby.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's really fallen flat now.
Yeah, I'm not feeling it. That's right. But I'm also not feeling this whole United States stardom. I know that you've got a bit more history with Apollo Crews from back in your old days of watching the wrestling, but he not interesting me. MVP has because he's also old. I don't care. Lashley, I think Lashley is better now, in terms of because he kind of
what he was doing.
Yeah, so prior to this, he had the whole thing with Rusev, which he looked like he was just having fun with it because it was dumb and he knew it was dumb. But then before that, he was just a henchman for Corbin. So he's still technically a henchman for MVP right now. Yeah. But he feels stronger.
He's doing better. Yeah, definitely. He is stronger. He's more of a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Look, I'll give MVP credit. One thing that he does well is his entrance music, because I've had that shit stuck in my head all day. I was in the shower earlier and I was like, 1, 2, you hear the clock ticking, tick, tock, you're about to start living, tick, tock, I want you to remember me, tick, tock, but the dead don't have no memory, I'm coming. All day, that start of it has been stuck in my head all day. So, props to him for having a catchy tune.
Yeah, I don't care. I can't care. So we know that Apollo
that's
Crews
the only
and
thing
MVP have a match at SummerSlam. We get predictions a little bit later, but
Yes.
I just can't. I can't care. And like
not
they
hyped about it.
we saw them get involved in Raw Underground, which we'll get to a little bit as well. A couple of weeks ago, and then that's just nothing. I thought that maybe like they would shift their angle onto Raw Underground, or at least for Lashley to make him look dope. Nah, apparently not.
Nah. Yeah, that just went nowhere apparently, which sucks.
Yeah, do you want to go straight? Let's go straight into Raw Underground now. Let's move into that.
Seeing as we've spoken about it.
So, after you've seen a bit more, before we get into what happened this week, actually, would you? Yeah, that first.
Same time.
That first. Raw Underground starts off with a match: Eric versus some dude, I think. Yeah.
Spider something.
Yeah, some random fuck. Then they had a Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon was like,
I did love that. Like at the end of it, Ivar jumped in the crowd.
Yeah.
It was great.
yeah, so Shane McMahon's like, hey, Dolph, you want to
Dolph.
fight him? He's like, fuck it, sure. Gets in, they have a bus.
Yeah.
It was like,
The only place Dolph can get a win is an underground.
it didn't quite feel like, so Underground is trying to do this like shoot fight feel.
Fight Club.
Yeah, it's like MMA fight club, like WWE Fight Club essentially, with like a little bit of a little bit of MMA in there, a little bit of like hard hitting, big throws and big drops and big punches and stuff. It was interesting. Like once they got like Eric and Dolph in there, it felt WWE as fuck.
Yeah.
Like when they've had
Yeah,
like
exactly
when they had
right.
like that big unit last week who just grabbed that guy by his cock and like punched his face in.
I didn't see that.
Oh, it was great. He literally just grabs his dick and it's like, and then just like punches in the fucking face, which is great. And yeah, and Mad Dog adds like the dancers didn't even make 3 weeks. They barely made a week. So they had sexy dancers in there
Yeah.
originally. They're gone. But I think that was
Yeah,
I think that was a distraction of what they were trying to do. They want a harder hitting sort of thing. But yeah, when you get
and if
get
you're
like
gonna do harder hitting.
I'll say, yeah, Riddick Moss, in the match that he has a little bit later, like that was it felt way harder, like that was cool.
Yeah.
Like it just feels like it should be fucking brutaler, but it's not there.
Yeah. One thing that they did do that did surprise me though is like earlier in the night we see Shayna Baszler
Yes!
with Marina Shafir
Yes!
and Jessamine Duke talking to Shane McMahon, and I could see her patting Marina Shafir, and I was like, is Marina Shafir gonna fight in the underground? And it's like Shane was like agreeing, and I was like,
Yes!
oh my god, please let her be fighting an underground, and she was. And I was like, yes, fuck yeah, like bring this on.
This is perfect. This is fucking perfect.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
such a good way to integrate them into Raw.
one of the things we've been talking about for a while, Jim, when they were talking about like the idea of the 4 horsemen versus 4 horsemen thing, right? And we're like, Marina Shafir, Jessamine Duke, they're not good to go. They're not there yet. But like
Charlotte and Shayna were having fights about this on Twitter.
yeah,
By the way. It was great.
this is perfect. This is a good way to get them in, get the excitement around them, let them bust it out,
Exactly.
and like they get to do like some like what they
Show
know
how strong they
mixed with
actually are.
WWE, build up the passion, build up some interest, and we're like obviously with
Oh,
Becky
and it was
out.
so good.
I mean, with Becky out and Ronda doing whatever the hell, we're not going to get 4.
It's 3-on-3.
We may not get 4 horsemen versus 4 horsemen, but Becky may show up. She may not wrestle, but she can
Pretty
show up.
is.
Ronda in
Management.
time might not be able to. They should be managed. You manage it. You know what I mean? Like,
Management.
imagine that. Like, if you want to put Raw Underground over, they have a boss, and then Ronda comes out.
Yeah. Yeah, and Ronda's like, I'm managing this bitch now.
Yeah, that would be
No, it was so
awesome.
It would be. There's so many ways it could go, but it was so awesome to see, Marina Shafir just beating the shit out of this woman and doing what she does best. Unfortunately, it was interrupted by Nia Jax.
Oh, she's apparently only 2 weeks suspension. Not enough. Get her the fuck out of here.
Exactly it. But yeah, so obviously Nia Jax gets in, she beats the shit out of Marina. Jessamine Duke tries to jump in.
Sorry, Mad Dog in the chat says Ronda Rousey can't be involved. She's too busy playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. That's fair.
Yeah.
Being a content creator.
And doing World of Warcraft.
Yeah, doing WoW ads, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so Jessamine tries to get in. Nia Jax just beats her. Baszler gets in the ring and she's like, fuck it, let's do this. Like, God.
Ding, ding, ding. Nia Jax fucks off
And-
like the giant scaredy
Yeah.
cat she is.
Yeah, which was hilarious. Like a woman of her size being scared of Baszler. Hilarious.
I love it. And Shay's just like, Nia, the only rule is you have to fight. Nia.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
she's gone.
There's no other rules. You just she's out. Oh, it was hilarious. And then Shane's just like, until next week. And I was like, you know what? I'm vibing this a little bit more now. Like,
Yeah.
vibing
Like,
around it.
I don't know. It's a small little tweak that really made me go, you know what? I'm a little excited for what this could be, what Underground could be.
Yeah, exactly. I do.
Because as I said last week... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go on. You first. You said last week.
Well, because so like as I said last week, the idea of Underground is solid. Like if it executed well, it could be its own little thing. The entire back hour could be Underground. They could have their own belt. They could have their own pay-per-views. It would be dope, right? That good mix between
turn the
MMA
24/7
and
championship
WWE.
into the Underground Championship.
Was it sorry?
Turn the 24/7 Championship into.
Yeah,
the
fuck off that. Put it in the Underground. You know, get it. Could potentially even do the whole
Hardcore
like
title, right?
hardcore title. It's like the broken 24/7 belt. Oh shit, that's way better.
Exactly it.
But yeah, you said
That's such a
it
good idea.
transitions into something, and I'm just going to jump into a comment here from
Yeah.
Noob and Common Chat, and then I think
Go
this is what
for
we
it.
transition into. So Shayna, Jessamine, and Marina are going to have major improvements. I mean, the match between Asuka and Shayna who pretty much dismantled Sasha and Bailey.
Oh, yeah. Which we'll get to. I was actually going to get to something small before we get into that. Which was the whole, like, being, like, Jessamine and Marina being noticed was because earlier in the night, the Iconics approached the Riot Squad.
Yes.
Or what we presume to be the Riot Squad again. And obviously, like, they start talking smack. Billie Kay's like, my shoulder's a bit jacked, so she's taking my spot. And Peyton's like, yeah, of course, I'd do anything for you because we're, like, better friends than the Riot Squad. And then Peyton's like, and who is that? And that's how Jessamine and that get introduced. And that's how
Which
they
makes
turn,
sense because, like, I like their potential, but Jessamine does look like she's on crack.
just
She has that like crack figure. Like, don't I say that knowing that she could punch my fucking face in?
She's so lean. And, like, who's she with? She's married to somebody
Roddy
in
Strong.
NXT. That's it, Roderick Strong. And he's like, yeah, she's a beast. Like, she could beat the shit out of me.
Actually, I'm pretty sure it's
We know she-
yeah. Oh, where is it?
Yeah, it's Roderick
Shafir.
Strong.
Oh, one of them's
No.
married to Roddy.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Jessamine. But yeah, obviously we see a match, Riot Squad versus the Iconics again. You know, thanks to an interruption by Billie Kay, Peyton Royce does get the win again. So this is another big L for the Riot Squad. Clearly going to turn into some big tag thing, but, you know, I just don't really give about it at the moment. One thing I do love though is every time, like, Peyton's getting her ass kicked, Billy's like, just walk it off, babe. Just walk it off.
It's fine.
Every
It's
time.
nothing.
Yeah. Babe, just walk it off every time. I'm just like, that's so Aussie. Just, nah, mate, it's fine. Just walk it off. Like, it's so Australian. I love that. But as you said, leading into that, with Shayna Baszler being around, that we did have a tag match tonight
Yeah.
with Shayna Baszler and Asuka versus Sasha and Bailey. Now, this was great because obviously Shayna comes out, she gives her little promo after Bailey and Sasha being obnoxious. And Shayna's like, Asuka comes out just screaming in Japanese. And she's like, you know, she's like, I'm gonna fight you, but we have to fight together first. And it's just like, it's just so great the way she does it. She's like, you know, she's like, I'm fighting with all of you, but, you know, we're fighting together. And they just, like, roll up together and just, like, they immediately, like, hit the tag team thing. It was awesome. They went straight into it. And then friggin' Nia Jax makes her first appearance of the night here and gets involved. Go away. But Baszler does end up chasing Jax out of the arena. Like, she's clearly chasing her. She wants Jax's blood. And disappears. So it ends up being Asuka versus Bailey for the longest part. But then Shayna Baszler does show up, and within moments, she absolutely just decimates. Like, Asuka did a killer job of holding her own and kicking ass, but Baszler just came in and she icing on the cake.
Yeah,
and
man.
she managed to tap out Bailey.
Yeah.
She tapped Bailey out.
Yeah. See,
Well, Asuka was like, like Asuka was like tapping out like Sasha Banks on the ground while Baszler was tapping out Bayley in the ring. It was so cool.
Well, like I love this, and I'm okay with it because like Bayley is obviously her loss record at SmackDown's like not existent. She's been longest running SmackDown Women's Champion. She's nothing but wins, but she can take L's over at Raw, and it doesn't impact anything. It's awesome.
Exactly right.
It's awesome.
Exactly right.
So
but no,
yeah,
it was really freaking cool. It was a great match. Like, it was just, the whole exchange was really cool. Like, could have done without Nia Jax. I would have.
Oh God, less Nia Jax the better. Like, can Shayna just like punch her, like
Yeah.
just literally kill her?
Yeah, no, it was really cool to see, you know, Asuka and Shayna actually team up.
Yeah,
It was really great.
it was a good way to show what's to come. I say that because you know because Baszler has essentially called dibs on whoever wins out of Asuka versus Sasha. So it's a taste of what's to come, whether it be Sasha versus Baszler or
Baszler's like,
Asuka versus Baszler.
Wins, I'm next. Yeah, and like, yeah, I just love how Asuka's like, you know, before I face you, we face them. Like, Asuka's saying like, I'm gonna be.
So I'm gonna win. I'm gonna be champ, and then I'm gonna fight you.
Yeah, and I love that.
Me too.
Bring it on. I want to see Asuka versus Shayna Baszler for a title.
Yeah, I want to see it like well bad.
So bad.
Yeah. So
but that brings us into the last
final
one.
scene now, Jem. In your week away, something happened that you have been wanting for the longest time. Dominic Mysterio finally signed the dotted line. He is a superstar, and you have been wanting this forever.
Ever. This has been coming for so long, and I keep laughing at everybody who's making jokes like, you know, oh, like, I wonder who's going to win this match. Yeah, who's going to be Dominic's puppy? Like, just making jokes at the Ray versus Eddie Guerrero from years ago. Like, it's super funny, but I am hyped. Like, first I saw, like, you know, the kendo stick attack and the welts all over Dominic, and I was like, what the hell?
He got his ass kicked
And
last week,
then-
yeah.
Oh, yeah. They, like, essentially crucified him is what they called it. And seeing him sign that contract, and then obviously Ray, like, he comes out with Ray, and Ray's like, you know, the physical pain I felt at Horror Show and the pain I felt since, that doesn't compare to the pain of watching my son get handled like that last week. And, you know, he's obviously disappointed in himself, and he's like, he's proud that Dominic wants to bring honor back to the Mysterio name. And Dominic's like, Dad, like, I know, I love you, but I know what I'm getting into. I know what I got into when I signed this contract, and it's fine. And then Rey Mysterio goes into calling Seth Rollins out. And he's like, you know, Seth is just like, you're an idiot. You're putting your son in harm's way again. Neither of you are going to make it to SummerSlam, yada, yada, yada. Dominic's clearly, like, he's visibly beaten. Ray's got
he's
one
hurting.
eye going on. Yeah, they're both really, really hurting. But it was all a ploy. Because as, like, Seth's like, don't you guys move an inch. We'll be there in a minute. And Seth and Murphy come out, because obviously Murphy's in tow wherever Seth goes. And, like, Ray's, like, distracting Murphy and Seth in the ring. Like, you know, he'll run up to the ring and they'll try and grab at him and he'll run away. And then he went around.
Like a dog. He's like,
While he's doing that. Yeah, he's like a little young chihuahua. Yeah, going after the big dogs. And Dominic just sort of, like, slinks away over to the, like, time desk, and his arm goes over the thing, and then out come two kendo sticks, and then into the ring he slides, and they just beat the living shit out of Seth and Murphy. Like, kendo sticks flying everywhere, Seth getting his ass handed to him. It was beautiful seeing father and son do that, and I am so hyped for this match at SummerSlam now.
yes,
I am,
it
like,
is.
the fact that
It is cool.
Yeah, the fact that Dominic is officially a superstar now, it's all coming together years and years. Like, we're talking like 14 years, maybe a little bit less. I can't remember how old Dominic was when they had the I'm Your Papi match. But, like, we're talking over a decade of things just coming together. And, like, I grew up with Dominic being a little kid and seeing all that. So I've essentially grown up with him, and it's so cool to see, you know, this 18, 19-year-old kid is now a superstar, an official WWE superstar. And his first match is against Seth freaking Rollins.
In a street fight.
In a street fight. That's what got me. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, in a street fight? Kid, you are going hard, and I am about this.
Yeah.
I am so hyped for this.
Yeah, I'm in the same page. I'm really liking where this is going. Like for me, it's if we want to look at it through the eyes of the show. So in the kayfabe, I'm fucking hard. Like I think it's great. You know, it's the redemption for the Mysterio name. It's, you know, it's father versus son, which, you know, as a father myself, I'm instantly soft to those things. You know, it's cool. Like it's giving the one up to the fucking to the Messiah. You know, giving him a bit of shit. And like if we remove our little kayfabe, it's awesome. Like Dominic he's going straight to the main roster, or presumably he may do main and then go over to NXT. Who knows? But he's with Seth. Seth is one of the better one of the best performers that WWE have. So it's a safe place for him to be. It's, you know, he's coming in gangbusters with a street fight. So like, rather than being a traditional match, it's coming in with like expectations high. Like they're going to deliver something I'm not saying something different, but like something with at least some edge to it. So rather than him just being Rey Mysterio's kid, he has the potential here to sort of cut his own cloth. Like, I'm excited.
Yep, and he's a third generation superstar because it was Rey Mysterio Senior,
exactly, yeah.
Mysterio Junior, and then Dominic Mysterio. Like it's, you know, that third generation. It's that family. It's just beautiful. I love it.
I think it's so good, so good. Anyway, Jem, we're about to jump into some SummerSlam predictions now that we've finished reviewing Raw. How do you rate it using our not so patented Kurt Angle and the bar? How do you put it?
It was high on my radar again because this is the last Raw we're getting before SummerSlam. It is the go home show. Again, I was all over it. The connections, everything together. It'd be two Kurts for me.
Whoa, bold,
really
bold. I'm probably a Kurt and a bar, like a 1.5 out of 2 for me. I enjoyed it pretty much. Like the Retribution barely fucking touched anything, which is probably why I liked it. You know, the only thing they really did was force an ad break. You know, like we saw some further movement within the whole Zelina Street Profits sort of setup. We saw some movement with Randaddy. I like Randaddy just putting everyone. I kind of get a kick out of that.
Yeah.
You know, Raw Underground. Hey, I wish I meant that. Raw Underground is slowly setting up some cool things. I'm open to it, man. I'd like to see where it goes personally. All right. Let's get into it. It is time for SummerSlam predictions. Now, for those that are still watching in the chat, be sure to let us know what your predictions are. Like, when I read the match out, we'll discuss our thoughts and you let me know in the chat. Kicking things off, one of the big one, as we mentioned, Drew McIntyre versus Randaddy Orton. Jem, how do you see this going?
So like I was saying, I think there's going to be a big hold, like lumberjack style thing where everybody that Randy's punted is going to end up around the ring. And Randy's just going to have to face his demon while he gets his ass handed to him by Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre is going to retain 100%. But yeah, I would love to see just, it's fantasy booking, but I would love to see just like Edge, Christian, Shawn Michaels, you know, fucking Ric Flair, everybody
Big Show
around the ring. Big Show, yeah. I would just love to see them there, just cheering Drew McIntyre.
Yeah, that would be cool. That'd be cool.
Yeah, Drew McIntyre.
Well, with the move to the Amway Center Stadium, whatever the fuck, like they're gonna have LED boards everywhere. They could easily just bring them in. Like they don't have to may not be there in person, but they can be there, almost like this wall of his. Yeah, he said the wall of his demons.
On the screen,
you know, that'd be pretty tight.
Yeah, yeah.
Personally, I think Drew McIntyre will retain as well. I think it will be a pretty banging match. I do wonder, I didn't consider the idea of the legends or anything being involved in it. I thought they were more just sort of emotional push heading into the show. But I think that's a better idea. I think that's actually a great way for it to have it involved. Whether it happens or not, I don't know, but I would like to think that it plays a part. With the whole tagline of the show being you won't see it coming, implies that we're going to see it'll be whoever gets the RKO or whoever gets the Claymore kick in first, and that's it. There'll be multiple attempts for that finish for their finisher. Whoever lands it first gets the winner, and I guarantee it's Claymore kick.
Yeah, because Drew McIntyre can pop that out of nowhere quicker than Randy can RKO. So
yeah, completely agree. Universal Championship: Braun Strowman versus The Fiend.
This is a tough one.
Yeah.
I am really torn because I feel like The Fiend got the belt too early and now would have been the perfect time for him to take it. I think Braun's doing great, but what's he going to do after this? The Fiend can move on to something else. Braun Strowman can't. So I see The Fiend walking out.
Okay, interesting. I'm gonna say it stays on Braun. I think, I said we've seen moments of compassion with The Fiend. We're seeing, because we've seen the situation of the hurt and the heel, right? But we're yet to see really any of the heel. So maybe this is a little line down that. Maybe Braun kind of gets Alexa involved a little bit, and he's sort of getting pushes that other side of The Fiend, right? Maybe we'll see a bit of quote unquote weakness, and that gets exploited, and then Braun Strowman holding the win there for me. I think they'll find a way to expand on The Fiend's character. We'll essentially see that Braun was trying to work him the whole time, and he has big love for Alexa Bliss. Maybe they smooch, maybe they don't. Hope they do.
I hope they do.
Raw.
Love story like Otis and Mandy.
Was it, sorry?
Love story like Otis.
That's right. Little big. Raw Women's Champion. Oh, then when they start another mixed match challenge. They get the band Little Big to come out. They sing songs. They get that'd be amazing. They get that Angel Gaza looking dude and the real Angel Gaza together. Everyone gets really confused.
His name is Uri.
Yeah, that guy. Raw Women's Championship: Sasha Banks versus Asuka. And while we're here, we might as well put in SmackDown Women's Championship: Bayley versus Asuka as well.
I honestly think, as much as the whole "we are the gold standard," the blueprint, Bayley 2 belts and Sasha 2 belts, Banks and Bayley door straps. I honestly see Asuka taking this.
Both or one?
Sasha. I think she's only going to take one. I think Bayley's got something good going for her. Bayley's almost a year into her title reign. I think that Asuka is going to take the belt from Sasha. I would love to see Asuka take them both. Actually, no. I was thinking about it today. Asuka's going to take both belts, but then straight after, she's going to lose the Raw title to
Shayna. Okay. Interesting. Yeah. That I like that. My original prediction was because Sasha Banks has a terrible history at pay-per-views. I think Sasha will lose. Bayley will retain due to probably dirty tactics, and that begins the crumble of their pairing. I think because everyone assumes that Bayley.
The following week they're.
Pardon?
Because at Payback they have to defend their title.
Yeah, exactly. So this will be the crumble, right? So everyone presumes that Bayley will be is the weaker of the two. That's always the assumption that Sasha was stronger, Bayley was the lackey essentially, the number 2 of the 1 and 2. It's going to be the other way. Bayley's going to be the number 1 here. Sasha will lose, and then that'll cause Sasha to crack. That'll crumble the pair. Then Payback the week after, they aren't coherent. They aren't a coherent pair right now. They lose the tag titles as well, leaving Bayley having the championship, and then just kind of watching everything fucking die around her.
See, I thought.
And of course, that also leads to
my
Asuka
idea.
versus Baszler. I would like to see
Yeah.
Baszler win, but
So,
maybe we'll get a couple of matches out of that.
I was thinking along the similar lines, but both of them losing their belt causes them both to crack, which causes a break in their friendship, which they'll lose the tag team title.
But I think
Same, but
of course,
different.
there's still a Bayley versus Sasha match in there somewhere. If they both lose and they both
yeah,
turn
they
on
have
each
to
other, then
lose.
there's no heel versus face,
That's
right?
true.
So one of them
That's
has to
true.
lose, and like as Mad Dog in the chat says, and then Bayley turns on Sasha. So so that allows
Yeah.
Bayley to be like. Continue to be heel, because
I
I
number
think
one.
right now,
Kiss my behind.
my stance has changed on Bayley, and I think she is better as not Hugger Bayley right now. Like she's
Yeah.
channeling
Yeah,
some like
definitely.
Jericho in her promos, and I'm loving it. She is
Yeah.
doing so much better, and where Bayley, sorry, Sasha, even face Sasha is still kind of the same Sasha.
Yeah.
There's not a massive change if
Yeah.
that were to happen.
Yeah. I'm with
You know what I mean? That's how I see it going
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Granted, a lot of that decision was literally on the fly right now.
Yeah. Nah.
Seth Rollins versus Dominic Mysterio in a street fight.
Oh, I want Dominic to win. I feel like Dominic has to win just for the Mysterio legacy and everything that they've gone through. I feel like it's going to be Dominic's foot in the door in the WWE, and Seth Rollins is the perfect person for him to take down to prove that he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. I definitely see Dominic taking the win. Obviously, with Ray will have to help somehow.
Yeah, well, he will be there. Murphy will be there as well. So, street fight, other people can get involved. So, even to that.
Yeah, I definitely think Dominic's going to take it.
Yeah.
He's going to come in strong.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I think Dominic's going to get the win here. I say that because even though technically they won the beatdown on Raw, and wrestling math shows that means that whoever wins the go home show probably going to lose the pay per view. But I see them winning. I see them winning.
Yeah.
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 Because one of those things, it's your debut. Your debut need
you have to come out strong.
after what 14 plus years, this debut needs to happen. It needs to happen awesomely, and I think him getting the win is where that's going to go. Raw Tag Team Championships: Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza.
I think the Street Profits will retain with assistance from Bianca Belair.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see Street Profits losing it
Because
either.
I think seeing that Zelina Vega has actually poisoned Montez Ford, I feel like that's going to cause cracks in their dynamic, and it's just going to sort of fall apart.
I agreed. United States Championship, I don't care, but Apollo Crews versus MVP.
Apollo Crews.
Yeah, Apollo Crews is retaining. Easy. Sonya Deville versus Mandy Rose. Hair versus hair.
This is a hard one, but I think Mandy's going to take it, but she's not going to have the balls to cut Sonya's hair.
Nah, Sonya Deville's gone fucking bald. I'm hearing it right now. She's gone bald.
Nah,
Happening.
I don't reckon Mandy can do it. I reckon Mandy's still got some love for her there somewhere, somehow, and I think I don't think it's happening.
Yeah, but I'm going to be disappointed if no hair's actually removed.
Yeah. We'll see what happens, but I would be too, but at the same time, I'd kind of be like, oh, that's so heartwarming.
Yeah, because Sonya does have a good head of hair. I agree with that. And so does
exactly
so does Mandy. But
Yeah.
if there's no winner and no one I quit, I'm not shaving her hair, I'm I will probably be very disappointed.
Yeah.
That's right.
We'll see what happens.
And then
Even if Sonya just goes short, even if Mandy just makes Sonya short, but doesn't take it all off.
Yeah, because it's still hair removal.
Yeah, exactly it.
Excuse me.
Hair versus hair, they whack
Yeah.
each other's legs.
Oh, that'd be interesting. Oh no! What happens is they get one strap on their leg and it's first to yank it off mid-match. So it's like it essentially becomes a big tussle. It's like a lot of like
big grapple, yeah.
Like underarm hair, I imagine hurts a lot. Maybe there's a wax strip in there. Yeah.
Trying to get there.
Yeah, so
that would be great.
Like, ding ding ding, they win. Mad Dog says the face will win in the hair versus hair. History backs it. Even the Trump McMahon match, because at the time McMahon was heel. So yeah, even though Trump is the biggest heel, at the time, I agree with that. So yeah, that's why I see Mandy getting the win. The math is there. Because it's one of those things. Like, even though Sonya's kicking a whole bunch of ass, and I love Sonya right now.
Yeah.
But
yeah, Mandy's definitely taking the win.
Yeah, it's that weird thing, because as you said, it's like maybe it go heads down to some storyline about them like loving each other or something. Like I don't see that happening, but it's possible.
Well, if I can take kayfabe off for a second, the main reason that their storyline didn't go ahead was there was a big dispute between Sonya and her partner about it. Sonya's partner wasn't happy about it. They're not together anymore, so I can see this getting greenlit again.
Okay.
Kayfabe back on. I would love to see like the whole like, I'm secretly in love with you, sorry Otis, or vice versa. I don't know, but I definitely think there's going to be a reconciliation with Sonya and Mandy at some point, because like Sonya's awesome. She's great, vicious, and I think she could be better in the tag team picture, being that vicious, going for the belts. I feel like she could light this real angry fire in Mandy Rose, and then they could just be real angry and take the titles.
Fair. Well, that's all the matches that we know of. I'm sure more will pop up between now and then. They'll maybe fill the show out, and then we got Payback the week after. So anything that might roll over into Payback.
I had an idea.
Yes, Jim.
I had a thought. Is Otis SmackDown or Raw?
SmackDown.
SmackDown. And Apollo Crews is Raw.
Raw.
Fuck.
Your plan just get ruined. What was?
He can go for any. I was gonna say Otis can go anywhere with his title, with his Money in the Bank, can't he? Do you reckon maybe he might cash in for a title?
We might see some cash in. Well, there's no SmackDown championship. I don't see him going for like the IC or anything.
Yeah.
Ooh, that could be interesting.
Interesting.
I think his involvement in what Bray and Braun are doing right now may be a bad choice.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. That's all right. Cool. All right. Oh, well, we'll touch upon a couple of quick things. I know we've been here forever, but we'll do a couple more things. Mad Dog in the chat mentioned Sonya's had a rough week with the kidnap attempt. Yes. Someone attempted to kidnap Sonya Deville.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, so someone attempted to break into her house. Luckily, she was there and saw it and then scooted. Police came back, found him with a knife and a bunch of cable ties and stuff, and he got carted away.
Fuck.
Been planning it for months, apparently. It's pretty gross and scary.
That is really
not
scary.
kayfabe, Craig. That like actually happened. Yeah.
Shit.
So that's pretty gnarly.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That is real scary.
It's real scary
Holy
shit. Like, what did the dude think? He was gonna like turn her? Like, no, she likes other people, not like you.
Yeah. You said there was something in the chat earlier that you were going to touch on at the end of the show.
Oh fuck! What was it?
Mad Dog said something earlier in the comments that you said.
Oh, that was the hair versus hair statistics. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And additionally, they announced this week WWE Thunderdome. So, in order to try spice up the whole SummerSlam weekend, there's going to be this interactive experience where as they move to the Amway Theatre, there is lasers, there is smoke, there is pyro. They're essentially making like a little mini mania, I guess. And fans can sign up to this thing called WWE Thunderdome, which is apparently a way to sort of interact with the whole setup. So you can like essentially have your face in the crowd. Like then my presumption is there's like a camera in the crowd and you pay some money and it's like you're watching it from the crowd. I don't know. There seems to be a lot here. Nothing's really happening. I'm just going to quickly check the link and see if anything's changed. It has not. It's still currently is still. Oh, we can register now. Oh shit.
Oh,
All right, I'm going to register right now. All right, Ryan, Betson, Put my email in there. Put my email in there. Done. Oh, okay. Oh, that was pretty quick. You have been selected to participate in the... I just clicked OK. All right, cool. All right, well, let's wrap the show up, and then I'm going to join this and see what this is. I'm very excited. All right.
Oh,
Anyways,
yeah, bring it
this has been our Young and the Wrestlers, the WWE, the Pop C WWE podcast. Hope you've enjoyed your time here. You can listen to this every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. on your podcast services, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes. If you want to join that wrestling conversation, you can over at Facebook, Twitter, Discord, Instagram. All those links are in the down below area. If you want to join the show as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopculturist, where you can watch the show live. If you want to support the show, you can tell your friends, tell your family about this wrestling pod. Of course, you can always, if you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, comment below. I'm always down there chatting. If you're on the podcast services, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/thepopculturist, as well as our merchandise store, popculturist.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other sort of shit with our logos on it. But until then, I'm Ryan Betson.
And I'm Jeb.
And I'm gonna do some Thunderdome things. I'll see you all soon.
Woo! Bye!
The Young and the Wrestlers, the Pop Culturist WWE podcast, is fan support over at Patreon at patreon.com/thepopculturist. And we'd like to thank our Patreon producers and our Patreon founders for their kindness, their support, and their generosity. Our Patreon founders: Alpha Ferret, Craig O'Flaherty, David Chataway, Jesse Stevenson, and Jacob Garner. And our Patreon producers: AJ Abatomi, Damian Holdies, Kyle Dunn, Lee Wintershoven, Nathan Massetti, Paul James, Pure Mongrel, and Sean Levitt.